Today we're going to be talking about the African Wildcat. The African Wildcat, also known as Felis sylvestris libica, is the ancestor of the domesticated house cat. Humans first domesticated house cats around 10 to 12,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent, and finished later in just other various parts of Africa, including Egypt. Now, this may look like an ordinary house cat to you. I assure you he's not. One clear way to tell the difference between an ordinary, just regular gray tabby and an African Wildcat is to look at the back of the ears. You see the kittens, have a nice dark reddish orange color, sandy brown, as some like to call it, tone to the back of their ears. You won't usually see that on a domesticated house cat unless it's, of course, an orange tabby, but like I said, these cats do not come in full orange. Usually they also have the mackerel tabby fur type. That's where you'll see a variation of various spots, and then they go into stripes. Now, he's eating his chicken gizzard right now, but if I can get a look underneath his head, you can see he has some brown undertones underneath the stripes. That's another characteristic of the species. However, this individual is a lot more gray than your average African house cat. They can vary in color from anywhere from a light sandy gray to all the way to a very dark gray tabby. A lot of his siblings and a lot from of kittens from from the same breeder had the more common sandy brown coloration. However, his dad and his mom in particular were also the more dark gray variety, and both of them were imports straight out of Africa. So this is a Gen 1 captive bred kitten. He is about as wild as it gets, folks, as wild as it can get without him wanting to maul my hand off. They have the rufous ears, as some like to call it. That is where they have little tufts of fur at the top of the ears. Now, that's not specific to this species. Bobcats have it. Some domestic breeds have it, such as the Maine Coon. But yeah, this is an interesting little species. I'm happy to work with it here at Powerhouse Exotics. Hopefully we'll be producing kittens here in maybe the next year or two. I am on the lookout for a female at this moment. Yeah, amazing little species. I do not recommend these as a house pet, as a permanent house pet for just your average keeper. He is being kept inside at the moment. However, we do have plans for an outdoor enclosure. He will be allowed indoors during the colder months and allowed outdoors in the warm months. Here at Powerhouse Exotics, we feel it is unfair to keep a wild animal inside cooped up all year round. That's simply, they cannot live a fulfilled life that way. However, we do support captive wildcat ownership if cared for correctly and if given proper stimulation. This guy will be living happily in his outdoor enclosure, and like I said, we may have kittens in the future, so please message me if you have any questions. But yeah, the personality on these guys cannot be beat. I'll tell you what, these are the most spunky, outgoing cats you will ever encounter in your life. Just look at my last video. That's what feeding time is like for the guys. Of course, what happened in the last video, I'm trying to work on breaking him of. He is a wild animal, of course. It's going to be hard to break him from some of his habits. But yeah, this is Thor. He's a little bit scared right now. This is one of his first times being outside, so that's why we're feeding him, to encourage him to act appropriately. He's looking at the goats over there a little bit, just checking them out. And so yeah, just great little species. Just want to give you guys a little video about them, and if you're interested in them, feel free to contact me.